Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. We hope your day is one of fulfilled possibilities because you know your worth and the value of what you do. Meet the daily challenge to 10x your business. Become known for your products or services on JM&B Radio Podcast, heard in over 200 countries, or if you're ready to take the leap, move to Mindset Movers TV as a host or series producer, broadcasting to the combined audience of Roku and Fire TV. Every day in business has its challenges. Find a partner with Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Contact us at jmnbradio@gmail.com. That's Just Minding My Business Media, LLC at jmnbradio@gmail.com. Money, like emotions, is something you must control to keep your life on the right track. Natasha Munson. Today, we welcome Bob Wheeler, financial expert and motivator, book author, and founder of The Money Nerve. As a man of true integrity with infectious energy, Bob Wheeler's crusade for personal growth has cross-pollinated with his accounting practice to create a new approach to personal finances. His passion is to help others gain insights about how their emotions trigger financial decisions. Combining finances with behaviors, Bob explores his personal concept of creating a healthy relationship with money through his podcast, an online course, and his book, The Money Nerve, Navigating the Emotions of Money. Welcome, Bob Wheeler.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we are excited to have you, The Money Nerve. How did you come up with that name? I love it. It hits the nerve.
It is a nerve. I think, so many people think money is a non-emotional 2 + 2 is 4 kind of thing. But whenever you win a lottery ticket, or maybe your check bounced, or they decline your credit card, we feel it in the body. It's such a visceral reaction. And so I really wanted to connect with, it gets a nerve. I mean, whether it's a good one or whether it's a bad one. And so I really just wanted to tie it to the body because I believe a lot of that stuff is physically in us.
Yes, and that's a really good topic to talk about because it does. I mean, I've had a couple things bounce in the bank, and I remember how I felt inside. It was, oh my God, $36. I don't have 36 extra dollars to give nobody.
That's right. If I did, the check would have cleared.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
About that.
So
Yeah.
I can definitely relate. So how do you help people with that?
Well, what happened was when I was first doing tax appointments with my clients, when I went out on my own, a lot of my tax appointments were turning into therapy sessions. I would sit down with somebody and I'd give them some really great advice or what I thought was great advice, and they'd turn around and do the opposite. I'm like, what's going on here? So I had to start getting curious about people. What was their story? Because everybody has a different story. And if I don't know your story, I can give you all kinds of great information. But if you have a belief or a block about what I'm telling you, you're not going to listen to me. And so I needed to start saying, hey, what's your story? What did you learn about money? Did you come from scarcity? Is money bad? I'll be in a room with people doing a workshop and I'll say, who wants to be rich? Everybody, I want to be rich. What do you think of rich people? Rich people suck. Wait a minute. You want to be a person you don't like. What's going on here? And so, right, we have all these contradictions within ourselves. And so once we can start to just get clarity around our belief around poor people, around rich people, about whether I'm deserving to actually sit at the table and receive everything that's coming to me, is my self worth the same as my net worth? And
Mm.
really starting to check in with people. What goes on for you? What happens if you get all this money? What if you step out of your comfort zone? Oh, people might judge me. People might not think I deserve to be successful. And then we have a whole story that goes along with it that we say, you know what, I just won't go for it. I won't start that business. I won't take a risk. And so getting into people's mindsets so that we can then make a conscious decision to keep going down that path or choose something different that actually serves us better.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
you are speaking the truth in so many ways. I know people out there listening are going, oh my goodness, he's telling my story.
Absolutely.
Money is a
Absolutely.
funny thing. It is highly emotional, highly
Yeah.
emotional. Like I just said, if something happens with your money, oh my goodness, there you go from terror, actually terror.
Yes.
It's terror. It's not just free fear or being upset. It's terror. It's like you are standing in front of a rattlesnake that's getting ready to strike.
That's
You know.
right. Absolutely. And I think that's what people don't realize. It really is, for me, so many years I spent thinking, if I do this, is it going to kill me? Like if I step out of my comfort zone, am I going to die? And then oh, okay, that didn't kill me. All right, but this one might, right? And we get that dramatic, and it feels that dramatic in the system.
Mhm.
And there's so much shame. There's so much shame
Yes.
out there. I'm supposed to know better. I'm supposed to be smarter than that. How could I have been suckered in? How come I didn't take a risk? And then we internalize and make ourselves bad, and we can't tell anybody.
Yes, that is a big piece of it. We
Yes.
hide it.
We
We
gotta
hide
hide
it. We will not tell anybody that I'm really doing bad. I really made a mistake or whatever it is. And even when we have something good happen to us, we're
Yeah.
afraid to tell anybody.
That's
Oh
right.
my goodness. As we talk about this, I'm getting more and more emotional. Wow. And it's true. Can you imagine what that's like when you have in a marriage
Yeah.
and both parties are feeling it?
Mm.
Oh, that's just like, you might as just, well, go ahead and put a nuclear bomb underneath it because it's going to explode.
Yes.
Explode.
It's so interesting with couples, because when they sit down, sometimes they'll say, all right, Bob, we have a dinner writing on this. Who's right? And I'll say, well, are you on the same team, or is somebody trying to get more wins? Because you're probably going to get further along if you decide to team up and stop trying to outdo each other. We forget, and then we get into a competition with the people we love, because maybe that's what we learned or that's what we observed. And so really taking a step back and saying, wait a minute, I'm on this journey with this other person. Let me see if I can actually communicate in a healthy way that actually serves both of us, instead of trying to take them out.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Which is not going to serve anybody
Mm-mm.
and cause more pain and all the rest that comes with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Wow.
How do we create a healthy relationship with money? What do we need? What kind of work do we individually need to do?
Well, we actually do need to get to know ourselves, right? We have to actually start being comfortable with the truth. I come from a scarcity mindset. I sometimes think there's not going to be enough. All right, I'm okay with that. Doesn't make me evil. Just means sometimes I want to make sure I got 6 months worth of groceries in my pantry. So it doesn't mean that I'm bad. It just means like, oh, this is part of my story. Oh, I didn't grow up rich. My parents didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a safety net. Okay, great. That's interesting. It doesn't make somebody else that has a safety net better or worse. It just means like, interesting. This is my story. And that's the first thing, is to really like know ourselves and be okay with it. And just say, wow, that's just how I was socialized. That was the family that I grew up with. That was the lesson that I was going to get this lifetime. And it just is what it is. And then if I can start listening to the places where I say, oh, I'm broke. Oh, I can't do this. Really? Wait a minute. Let me get out of this victim mindset. Maybe I'm choosing to do it because I'm afraid, because I'm comfortable, because I'm scared. And so starting to get real with our conversations, instead of saying something like, I want to have money, but I'm terrible with it. I want to have money and I'm learning to do it differently than I've done in the past, to try to find a bridge between the truth and what we want in the future.
And it sounds better.
Yeah.
It sounds accomplished, like you're really on a mission.
Absolutely.
That's what it sounds like. Wow.
Absolutely. And then there's a couple things that I like to do. People will say, well, this and this will happen. Do you have evidence to support that? Is it true? Is this your story, or is it the truth? And how does it serve you? So I'm an accountant, cost benefit. What's the cost of staying small? And what's the benefit of staying small? Right? The benefit is nobody judges me. The cost is maybe my soul, right? Maybe my passion, right? Like that I just exist. And so that's an important piece for me is because I'm here to be alive. I'm not here to just exist. I want to be alive, and I want to serve, and I want to participate, and I want to be in connection with people. And so the other question that I ask myself, and I encourage people to ask, is when I'm buying that next drink or buying that pair of shoes, is this in service to what I say I want my life to be about? Is it in integrity with my life goals? Because maybe I don't need that extra dessert, or maybe I don't need that extra pair of shoes because I already got 50 pairs of shoes. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I have to ask that question for me, for each person, to say what's true for me.
This is powerful. This is very powerful, because most of us never stop to ask ourselves,
right,
how is this serving me? And you use that phrase just now. And that is a huge indicator. And sometimes there are a whole lot of things that don't serve us.
Right.
And yet we continue to do them because we're afraid to let go.
That's right.
Because we think just over the horizon, if I just hang in here a little bit longer, it's going to change. But the evidence says it is not changing.
It's not.
It's continuing, and it is not serving you. So, goodness gracious, I mean, we could have a couple of 3 or 4 hours conversation around this issue of money, because money is, oh my goodness, we've been told lies about it. Things have been misquoted. That money is evil, and that is not what the Bible says. It says the love of money is the root to all evil.
Absolutely.
Not money. You need money to build a tower. You need money to buy a car, house, food. Help us get past this. Help us get past this, Bob, because it is a huge, and even as, like I said, as I was talking about, I can feel it inside. I can feel, oh my gosh, it's an interesting combinations of feelings. There's sadness, there's anger, there's regret. There's just all kinds of feelings bubbling around us. So how do we get past all of that?
Well, I think we have to decide, are we willing to get uncomfortable? Am I willing to do the work? And sometimes, well, when people come to me, I'll say, are you willing to do the work, and are you willing to get uncomfortable? And sometimes people will say, no. And I'll say, well, our work is done because I can't help you. Right. Because if we can't help ourselves, all the great information in the world is not going to do a thing. If we're positioned and decided, I'm not moving past this. So are we willing to do the work and get uncomfortable? The other thing for me, the biggest shift was shifting to a place of gratitude. When I can come from a place of gratitude and be graciously appreciative of hot running water, or the fact that my car starts, or that I'm able to eat a meal and then I have to decide between this bad meal and that bad meal, I at least have a choice. And so for me, I would love to see us getting back to a place of gratitude, because I feel like that's such an important piece, especially in the US, where we're very entitled and the bar has been set very high. People forget from west we came. So for me, it's starting to get real about how do I want to show up in the world? Because I believe at the end of the day, and money is a way to get there, but it doesn't buy happiness. But at the end of the day, I think that people want to be in connection.
Mhm.
I think people want to be the best versions of themselves. And I think people want to have impact. But we're afraid to say, I want to make a difference. I want to show up in the world. I want to serve and help other people. That's not always so cool. And it's scary to say that we want to matter.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is. And because people are
Mm.
worried about what others think.
Yeah.
That acceptance. Like you said, we want to be connected. So to be connected, you have to be accepted.
Yeah.
So that becomes a worry
Yeah.
of
Especially when you see,
acceptance.
because you see yourself once you step out of that comfort zone and move forward in your own right and in your own strength and in your own power, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be holding on to your coattails telling you, don't, you're
For sure.
wrong.
Yeah.
You're walking, you're doing something wrong. It's going to be, they catastrophize
Yeah.
what you're getting ready to do
That's right.
before they even really understand what you're doing.
That's right. And they do that partially because they don't want to feel their discomfort. They don't want to feel the place where they didn't go for it. They don't want to feel the place where fear held them back. They don't want you to feel what they think they might have felt. And so again, it's like, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. And to me, going out there, having success, financial success, being who you are, not apologizing for it, but also not being like, look what just showing up in integrity. Like there's nothing wrong with success.
No.
And, if you're spiritual or religious, it's to me, it's not a sin to go out and be successful and be able to help pay it forward and help other people and be able to do good works, great works with the money that we generate. And it's important to not have to worry, not apologize. And when we make mistakes or when we're afraid, to be willing to say, I'm really scared about this financial decision. I need help. I need support. And we're not taught that. And actually, when we can actually name our shame and our fears and our terror, we actually are in connection because people resonate with that. It doesn't make logical sense that when we expose the truth about ourselves, that people actually come closer.
Mhm.
But that has been my experience.
Yes, because that means you're being authentic. You're saying what they probably felt before. So they definitely can relate. And they wanted to say it. And because you said it, it gives them permission to talk about their fears and their discomforts. So wow.
This has just been an on-time conversation. That's all I can tell you, Bob.
Yeah.
On-time conversation. Because when we have opportunities that come before us, the terror rises up so completely that we can't even think.
Yeah.
We can't think. And that's the saying, what we'll tell people, I'm so upset right now, I can't think straight. Yeah. And it's true.
Yeah.
We're in that fight, flight, or freeze mode.
Yeah.
We are waiting for something horrible to happen. And as someone often says, what we imagine will happen never happens.
Yeah.
But we have terrorized ourselves.
Yes.
To the point that we just can't move. It's like those horror films, which I don't watch.
Me either.
But you know that this person knows they have to do something and they can't, and that's all they have to do is turn around and walk out the door, but they can't do it. Instead, they go in the opposite direction, right into whatever it is that they're afraid of.
Yeah.
Which sometimes can be good, but usually in a horror film.
Usually in those films, it's not. Don't go in the dark room when the lights just went out. Get out.
Yes.
Get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So how can people get in touch with you, Bob?
Yes.
Well, they can check out themoneynerve.com. I'm a nerd, but it's not nerd. It's the Money Nerve. And if you check that out, we've got blogs and resources for people. I do have a podcast called Money You Should Ask, where I talk with people mostly about their failures and their money beliefs and money blocks. And even though they're really successful people, it's so important to know that they didn't get it right off the bat.
Yeah.
So there's all that on the website. We have an online course that helps people excavate their money mindset to really help people start to let go of beliefs that don't serve them. And they can reach out to me via email, which is on the website as well, info@themoneynerve.com. Love to connect with people. I really, my mission has been to start conversations about money to help people remove the stigma of shame around financial literacy and to let people know that they are not alone. Often when it comes to financial decisions, we feel very isolated, and most of us are trying to present. And so I want people to know that they're not alone and that there is help out there. If you're willing to reach out and grab an arm or grab a wing and
Yes,
yeah,
and do the work.
and do the work.
Yeah, we can all fly together. Each
Absolutely.
other.
Absolutely.
I'll grab a wing.
Yeah. I've had a lot of angels. I've had a lot of angels in my life that were helping me along. I didn't even know it at the time.
Yeah, don't we all? And when we reflect back, we can name them one by one. Those people that held our hand when we didn't know better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, wow, this has been
Powerful.
amazing.
Yeah. I didn't know what to think when I saw it. I was like, okay, so he has
interesting.
Pretty much. How do you put these two together? But once you started talking, it was like, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Yes.
If we have 84 million people listening at this moment, I would say 80 million of them would be saying he's tap dancing on this nerve. Yes, it's the right nerve.
For sure. Because as soon as she talked about the checking account, been there and felt that.
Oh, yeah.
Been there.
Not fun.
Not fun at all.
I have been there. I have felt the shame.
Yes. And then you're trying to piece it together. Where do I have money elsewhere that I can put here to fix this? You know? And then sometimes it'd be like $20 here, $20 there. And every day until everything clears out, you checking the checking account.
Yeah.
Not fun.
No,
it's not. It's just not. It's just such a hard thing to deal with. And I think one of the things that you said is so important is acknowledging our story. Most of us are afraid to look back into our childhood, which is really where we get all of our money messages from.
Right. We do.
And because it is so painful, you know,
it is.
If whether it was something that happened to you, like you lost money as a child and you got beat all the way from downtown to home, you know, or if you watched your parents struggle and cry because there was not enough money, yet they were working really, really hard. You know, those are messages that have stuck in you. You know, it's there, that fear of the bill collectors. I know people don't have to deal with that anymore. It comes to
you just don't answer the phone.
Yes. But you know, years ago they used to come to your doors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And be knocking on your doors, and the shame of your neighbors seeing and, you know, trying to hide from them. You know, all of those money messages are with us.
They are
buried and they come into play.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness.
So we got to bring it out to the light and let them go. Let them bake in the sun a little bit. The one thing that I would say as we're talking about all this is people out there that want to do the work, I would encourage people to just be curious, right? Not be, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. Wow, isn't that interesting? I made that choice when I was younger. Wow, isn't that interesting that I seem to do that a lot?
Yeah.
Because if we can be gentle with ourselves, if we can give ourselves a little bit of compassion, we're just gonna soar.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know we're gonna have you again.
Yeah,
I would love it.
It is not enough time to cover all the pieces around this money thing because you know, it's some of it is generational curse.
Yeah.
And we got to realize that in order for us to move forward and be prosperous, we got to ditch it.
Yeah.
We just got
to do the work to ditch it because it's so deeply ingrained. It's deeply ingrained.
It's
Yes,
deeply
it
ingrained.
The whole concept of, and I'm just going to put it out there in the Black community, people have moved forward and getting things. Okay. Yeah. You may have someone who's wealthy and has 10 cars, but which is also an example of the same thing, right. Their money nerve. So they haven't dealt with the real issues of the fact that I only need 1 or 2 cars.
Right.
You know? But it is their way of compensating for what they didn't have.
Yes.
The struggles that their parents had.
Yes.
So we go to the opposite extreme. You know, it's just, money is a fascinating topic. It's a fascinating topic. And I agree, we need to have you back and maybe do something a little bit more structured.
Sure.
I'd love to see you do something more structured with Just Minding My Business Media.
Absolutely.
For our audience, because this is an important topic. And so many people are out there trying to build businesses and they want the money, but the money keeps sliding away. They just can't get to the money because there's all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I've said
absolutely. I would love to do that. I'd love to do that. And, you know, I will say I've had a couple of clients that started their own business and self-sabotaged because of childhood stories. And until we were able to identify that I need my mom to come rescue me, or I would rather fail than have my parents be disappointed. Like, we got to know our story if we're going to go out there and create abundance and wealth. We've got to know our story so we can catch it when something sneaks up and tries to take us out.
Yes. Wow. That definitely. Again, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah. themoneynerve.com, and I am passionate about this stuff. And so please check us out and reach out, because life is short.
Yes, it is. And tomorrow ain't promised. That's for sure.
Not. It is not promised.
You can today to make your life better tomorrow if you're going to have a life tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you so much.
Time with us. Thank you.
Well, absolutely. It was a pleasure, Ruth and Ida. I totally appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.